The Philippines is facing a challenging task in protecting its sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea. For years, the Philippine Navy and Coast Guard have been stuck in this situation, sending small boats that always get bullied or sending expensive warships that are too valuable to risk. But that era may soon come to an end with the launch of the Philippines' newest vessel. Meet the Rajah Sulayman class OPV, Philippines' latest class of patrol vessels designed and built for one thing: persistent presence where it's needed most. What does this OPV have to offer? Without further ado, let's jump into the video. The Rajah Sulayman class is the Philippine Navy's newest class of OPV, acquired to strengthen maritime security, specifically for long-range patrol within its EEZ. Based on Hyundai Heavy Industries HDP 2200 Plus design, the class consists of 6 vessels ordered in 2022 for approximately $573 million. At least 7 shipyards were competing for the contract before HHI was eventually selected as the winner, initially offering the HDP 1500 design. The technical working group assigned to the project used the Navy's experience on the Jose Rizal class frigate as a reference for the new ship's development and construction. During the contract signing, it was revealed that HHI had updated its offer using an enlarged and improved HDP 2200 corvette design as the baseline. The Philippine version, however, would be less armed and designed more for low to medium intensity conflict and peacetime operations. While its main role is to replace the Jacinto class, the program is ultimately aimed at retiring a wider range of aging Philippine Navy vessels. The lead ship of the class, Rajah Sulayman, was launched in June 2025 and planned to be commissioned in March, while the second one was launched last November. Both vessels are currently undergoing sea trials. The Rajah Sulayman class is 94.4 meter in length, 14.3 meter wide, has a draft of 3.7 meter, and a displacement of 2,400 tons. Powered by 2 MTU STX diesel engines in Kodat configuration, she has a speed of 22 knots, a range of up to 5,500 nautical miles, and an endurance of 30 days. She has a complement for 72 persons, a flight deck and hangar for a 10-ton helicopter, a rear ramp for RIP, and spaces for containerized modules. Rajah Sulayman is equipped with a Leonardo 76mm Super Rapid, 230mm mass RCWS, and 2 50 cal machine guns. It's not being equipped yet, but it seems like she could be fitted with a 4-cell KVLS, carrying up to 16 KSAM surface-to-air missiles in a quad-pack configuration, giving her more than enough air defense capability for a vessel of her size. She is also equipped with CMS and tactical data link from Hanwha, air and surface surveillance radar from Leonardo, hand-sold navigation radar, Safran Paseo optronic sensor, and ANSU's integrated navigation and bridge systems. Moreover, Canada's Geospectrum Technologies was also selected by Hanwha to supply 3 OPVs with Traps Towed Array sonar. As I said in the beginning of this video, the Philippines is facing a huge challenge in protecting its sovereignty, particularly in the West Philippine Sea against China. The challenge facing the Philippines goes beyond conventional military pressure. It's a gray zone strategy from China designed to be persistent, costly, and exhausting. It's a standard practice by the Chinese to maintain a permanent presence using a massive fleet of Coast Guard and maritime militia boats that rotate in sea. Historically, the Philippine Navy and Coast Guard had to return to port frequently for fuel and supplies, creating gaps that Chinese boats could exploit. This dynamic has effectively turned the situation into a war of attrition, where the key question is who can remain on station longer. The Chinese also use coercive and aggressive tactics that fall just below the line of triggering open conflict. These include the use of high-pressure water cannons to deliberately damage Philippine vessels and radar equipment, coordinated swarming of Filipino fishermen by maritime militia boats, and even the use of military-grade lasers against Philippine crews. This gray zone tactics puts the Philippines in a dilemma. If they don't respond, they lose territory and credibility, but if they respond with lethal force, there is a full-scale war against an enemy dozens of times their size. Moreover, many of the Philippines' most critical outposts are hundreds of miles away from the mainland, meaning every resupply mission is a high-risk operation where smaller boats often struggle with the distance and the rough seas, especially during the monsoon season. This makes sustaining outposts like the Sierra Madre a constant logistical challenge. This is exactly where the Rajah Sulayman class can address these challenges. With 30 days of endurance and more than 5,000 nautical mile range, Rajah Sulayman can match the Chinese permanent presence in the West Philippine Sea. Moreover, at 2,400 tons, she is built for blue water operation, meaning she can stay on station even during a rough monsoon season. Rajah Sulayman is significantly larger and heavier than most maritime militia boats, so she won't get bullied or damaged very easily, either by water cannon or ramming. She is better armed than the Coast Guard cutters, yet far less expensive to operate than the Jose Rizal or Miguel Malvar class frigates. This makes her ideal for providing a protective screen for smaller resupply vessels, or if necessary, conducting resupply mission on her own. This is where the spaces for containerized modules come in handy. The Rajah Sulayman class can be loaded with supplies, and once on station, it can deploy its embark ribs to deliver those supplies to the troops aboard Sierra Madre without having to risk entering the shallow and hazardous reef surrounding the outpost. Furthermore, an onboard helicopter can also be used for aerial resupply or for rapid medical evacuation during an emergency. Lastly, and I think one of the most underrated features I haven't talked about, is the traps towed array sonar that will be fitted to 3 of these vessels. Similar to my opinion about the Arafura class upgrade proposal with Captas 1, the more surface ships that are equipped with sonar, even entry-level ones, the greater the Navy's chances of detecting underwater threats. This underwater awareness will give the Rajah Sulayman class and the Philippine Navy in general more deterrence and complicate the Chinese activity, particularly in underwater operations. For years, the Philippine Navy was caught in a gray zone trap, forced to choose between aging boats with limited endurance and high-end frigates that were too costly to keep on constant patrol. The Rajah Sulayman class OPV will soon break that cycle. She can stay on station for much longer, even during a storm, ensuring a permanent Philippine presence where she is needed. She has the size and hull strength to stand her ground against the Chinese bullying, and is flexible enough to carry out a wide range of tasks from military operations to humanitarian missions. From what I see, Rajah Sulayman is exactly what the Philippines needs to counter the Chinese gray zone strategy in the West Philippine Sea. As the lead vessel enters service beginning in March and the full fleet will be ready in 2028, the Philippine Navy finally gains a modern and capable patrol vessel, underscoring its determination to safeguard its maritime domain. What do you think about the Rajah Sulayman class OPV? Do you think 6 OPVs are enough to secure the entire West Philippine Sea? Or should the Navy order a second batch and perhaps with KVLS from the get-go? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, before I go, Happy New Year! I hope you have wonderful memories this year as well. Thank you for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.